Ever since we started sharing my parents' strength training journey on this channel through the series Rebuilding Mum and Dad, there have been a lot of questions about their diet, the supplements they use, and any other healthy aging tools, plus my mum's skincare routine. She gets a lot of compliments about her beautiful skin. So today we're going to talk that through to learn what they feel helps them to age well and why. Both my dad Michael and my mum Rhoda are in their early 80s, and in a recent health screening with full blood panels, their results looked really good and their metabolic health was estimated to be what you would expect for the average person in their mid-60s. And if you haven't watched the previous episodes with them in this series, check out the playlist in the description below so you can see my parents' strength training regimen and progress. But now I'm going to take you around to my mum and dad's house next door and we'll talk through the big things you've been asking about. And afterwards, you're going to find the key things we discussed in the description below, including a link to a page where I detail their regimen and the products used. And you'll also find some supporting videos and articles from me around the science behind the choices they've made. Why don't we start with one of the hottest topics, which is your diet? There's lots of interest and people have lots of different opinions around what you should be eating. Having looked through the research and spoken to quite a lot of experts now, I think your diet is by far the most evidenced. That's because you eat what is now described as a Mediterranean diet. And you basically eat whole foods, preparing meals from scratch. And you've done that all your lives. I mean, that was the way, obviously, when you were raised. You didn't have processed stuff that you could pick up in the supermarket. Yeah. You eat the same meals apart from breakfast, right? So why don't we ask Dad to tell us what you eat for breakfast?
I just have a muesli base, extra seeds in it, lots of nuts in it, extra oats, completely sugar-free. There's no added sugar in anything. And to that, I add Greek yogurt, quite a bit of that, and then a couple of handfuls of blueberries, and then a very small amount of milk to just soften it a little bit. Yeah. And that's my breakfast.
And you add the Greek yogurt and the nuts, well, because you enjoy them, but also with protein in mind.
And included in that, I should say, just to balance this out a little bit, there is coconut. So there is an element of sweetness.
Yes.
And the berries are often quite sweet. So it's a very pleasant thing to eat.
You've got your protein in there, you've got fiber, you've got antioxidants, you've got it all going on. So perfect. Yeah. Dream breakfast, I think. Mum, you don't eat breakfast, do you?
Sorry.
Okay, so I can feel the comments lighting up at this already. Just no appetite.
No, I can't seem to manage breakfast. But I also don't drink caffeine. So I have a couple of mugfuls of lemon and ginger tea, which I enjoy.
The reduced appetite, that's something, because people will be, oh, they should eat this and they should add more of that. But the reality is, in your 80s, the appetite is not what it was when you were in your 30s and 40s. Am I right?
Yeah. Although I think I've got a good appetite.
You do?
I enjoy my food and eat well, I think.
Yeah. But adding that third meal in the day, you just feel you don't have the stomach for it at the moment.
I used to eat toast, but I just went off that completely.
Yeah.
And just started not having breakfast.
Lunch? You both eat a good
Lunch,
healthy lunch?
We have salad, lettuce, tomato, grated carrot, same salad every day. Eaten it for years.
Recently added beetroot.
The salad has a sprinkling of Parmesan cheese, ham or a protein of some sort, or fish or chicken.
And then you normally have like a sort of couscous and feta, or there's something else going on there usually as well.
We have either a coleslaw or the feta is mixed in with chickpeas and giant couscous, which...
Chickpeas, more protein in the feta.
Yeah, it's something we make up ourselves with a little bit of olive oil and mustard. And then we both have an apple after it. And sometimes I have an oat cake. It's a Scottish thing with a little bit of cheese.
We like our oats, yeah.
So always make sure plenty of protein.
And I have a couple of rice cakes.
Excellent. And then your dinner?
It's a variety of things. Can be pasta, lasagna, spaghetti bolognese, a stew, beef, lamb, chicken.
Always plenty veg, green veg.
Yeah, because you'll do a meat sometimes and 2 veg with a little gravy and fish the same way.
And then there's always fish at least once. Aim at oily fish, but not, that's a variety. That may be more worked into lunch, like tuna, or I sometimes have sardines.
What people don't know is that you two are just excellent cooks. I mean, outrageously good. Everybody who has ever eaten your food, it's incredible. So
You're very kind.
And when people say, oh, add this or cut out that, I mean, basically, you are eating natural food that you prepare, but it's meals that you love and give you joy.
Yes.
It's important in life, isn't it?
We've done that all our lives. We've done that.
And at the weekends, we treat ourselves and we sometimes have desserts. And we'll try and make it a little bit healthier these days. Yeah. We try and cut out the refined sugar and, but sometimes we just go for it and have a normal dessert. Why not?
And drinking less.
Drinking less alcohol. Not that we were a bunch of big drinkers.
No.
But whereas we would have a glass of wine or 2 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, now hardly anything really.
Hardly anything, unless it's an occasion.
We do have a starter to our meal. We don't just one course. We always start with something. And that introduces fish and soup.
Yes.
We don't not eat bought-in meals, but that's where we would probably introduce them if to just make life simple some days.
That's your diet. A good diet. I think it really has been part of the reason you're both, doing so well, because you've got no major health conditions, really. I mean, you have your thyroid, which you've had for years and years. And obviously osteoporosis, osteopenia. Yeah. You've had both of those diagnoses. But otherwise, you're in good health. Diet has to play a massive, massive role in that.
Well, they say you are what you eat.
You are what you eat. Let's move on to supplements, because it's just a few that you've settled with. We've tried sort of different things over the years and you've settled on a few. I'm going to start with vitamin D. You take vitamin D with K2. Yeah. And you have done for a few years now. Really, it was COVID when we started getting into the vitamin D in a big way in the slightly higher doses. So people, I'll link to them in the description so people can have a look at what you're actually taking and what the doses are. But what did you both feel that vitamin D did for you? Because you noticed changes when you started taking a higher strength vitamin D supplement.
Well, what I've noticed in particular is we've never had, hardly ever had, a cold or a sore throat. These are things that seem to no longer trouble us.
Or you get them for a few days.
We have in the past, I've had flus, which are horrible. I hate them. But we don't seem to get that anymore.
Yeah. I think the official advice is 4,000 IUs a day is the maximum deemed safe by a lot of health experts, which is around what you take. B vitamins. Mum, you have a vitamin B12 injection.
Yeah.
Every 8 weeks because you have a deficiency. That made the most enormous difference to you, that injection.
Yes. That was in regard to tiredness in the main. When I first started on the medication, I started off on a 3-monthly injection. Yeah. And by the end of the 3 months, I was toiling.
Yeah, I remember.
I got very tired. But then they put it up to 2 monthly, and since then, it's been fine.
Yeah, but it's incredible, isn't it? What a vitamin, what a difference that can make. And a lot of people, as they get older, get run down on B12. and maybe aren't aware that just, getting that tested, going and seeing their doctor, if they're low on energy, it's one of the things that should be checked out because it made a huge difference to you.
Absolutely.
Life-changing.
Life-changing.
As a result of that, Dad, you take a supplement, which is not going to be the same strength as the injection, obviously, but...
My main motivation behind that is just recommendations and the fact of getting older. I couldn't point to specific benefits.
It just really, when we saw the difference it made to Mum, we wanted to make sure your underlying levels. And you were both tested at the beginning of the year, and you were not too high or too low in anything really of the major vitamins. So, it tells us we're roughly on the right track. Yeah. I'm going to go to the controversial one, which is NMN.
Yeah.
Dad, we tried this a few years back when it was all the rage.
Yeah.
There was Professor David Sinclair was telling us all this was the big thing. We tried it, and even though the evidence around it, the human evidence, is not brilliant and hasn't really advanced since in the last few years, we still take it. You tell us why you still take it.
I found within a very short space of time that it had a fairly dramatic effect on my energy levels. Just, as you know, with stairs here, I go up and down them a lot. At the end of the day, being a hard day, I could just feel a big difference. So that was an immediate thing. I'm pretty convinced that it has had a significant difference with my, problem with pain in my feet, pain in my knees. Arthritic pains. I've got a family history of pretty severe arthritis. I have very little bother with it. And so, I would be very reluctant to stop taking NMN.
Yeah. And you did stop before your operation, your hernia operation.
Yeah.
And you felt a difference.
It can come back quite quickly.
Yeah.
Now, I've learned more recently the whole business of motion and lotion, which I've been aware of that for many years because I found that, for instance, using a rowing machine could make a significant difference to the onset of arthritis. But I'm pretty well pain-free. Now, whether it's all down to one thing or not, I can't tell.
Yeah, we don't know. Mum, you felt changes with the NMN as well.
Yes, and I also felt that it reduced my pain, especially in my back, where I also have arthritis. But I just felt so much better generally with the M&M that I would be very reluctant to give it up now. Whether it does that for everybody, we don't know.
Collagen, Mum. This one, you don't have such a memory of starting this one, but we did a video a few years back on you taking collagen and you felt it helped thicken your hair at the time.
Yeah.
So that's one that we just still include because of that. Who knows? Hair and nails.
That's right.
Could be helpful for. I feel it helps my nails, collagen, and it's supposed to have, other benefits as well for your skin and so on. But again, the evidence is a little shaky. Some studies that show some benefit, other studies that don't. You take TMG alongside the NMN, and that's just because experts that we've spoken to have recommended that. You've taken NMN without the TMG, and you've taken NMN with the TMG. It seems to be the NMN.
Yeah.
Because I have had people say, it could be the TMG. It does seem to be the NMN that is the consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, creatine. Mum, I was advising you to take a little bit of creatine powder to help build muscle.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's one that we don't know. We're just kind of trying to follow some of the expert advice that's coming out at the moment, but we can't say whether that's made any massive difference or not. And the omega-3, which is an important one, really you try and cover through diet. I mean, most things should be covered through diet.
Yes, I would have thought so.
Yeah. And we're not doing massive doses on the NMN either. We're just trying to hedge our bets. by taking a few things that we think are helpful. I just wanted to ask you about some of the supporting tools you take. I mean, Dad, I wanted to ask you about the calcium microneedling for your hair, because that's another thing. That's probably one of the most impressive things visually that you've tried. And I mean, you're a few years into using the calcium now, and your hair still hasn't thinned from, you know, when you first started using it and you started getting that coating at the back of your head, which was almost completely bald.
Yeah.
And you keep using it just a small amount now. How much are you using now?
Well, I put on 1/3 of a bottle every week.
Every week, yeah.
Yeah.
Microneedling it in with a little microneedle stamp.
Yeah.
And what do you think that does now that you're doing that kind of maintenance?
Well, the hair isn't receding.
Yeah.
And the bald patch which was there is certainly not a bald patch any longer.
Yeah.
It's a thin patch. It's not,
Yes.
you know, my hair's not restored to what it was 30 years ago. Hair had thinned quite a number of years ago. It's not something, mostly it was at the back of my head. So I didn't notice it. And also, but it did start going back on the brow.
Yes.
And that has definitely stopped.
So do you use it at the front now as well? Do you sort of put it
on,
all over?
I put it on
right,
all
okay.
over. Yeah.
Very
Well,
good.
I don't put it on where the hair is still thick.
Yeah. Yeah.
My hair on top is probably, it hasn't thickened the hair where it was before, where the hair was plentiful. It hasn't really made a difference there. Made a difference in the bald patch, which probably was a bit late with getting to that for best effects, but it's, well, you'll see it more than I do. It looks all right in the mirror.
Yeah. And if people are wondering, it's basically a growth factor based serum that I've covered a few times on the channel, but would you remember seeing the difference in Dad's hair?
Yes, yes. I think without these things, he would be very bald on the top now.
Again, just going by family, I would have expected to be pretty bald by now.
Yeah.
And I think it was beginning to shed quite quickly. It's one of these things, you can't be absolutely certain, but I think it's helped enough for me to, I'm not terribly conscious of my hair. It's not something I'm terribly worried about, but I would be reluctant to stop and watch it go again.
I know, because it's quite an expensive one, but you have managed to cut it down to sort of keep that expense down a bit. So you're on that kind of maintenance level, which is a bit more manageable. And then you both use the higher dose, your little red light hat that you you pass to one another in front of the TV at night.
It's our evening routine, yeah.
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 And you think that made a big difference to your hair?
I think that's the thing that has worked best for my hair.
Yeah. Because people won't believe, a few years back, your hair, you were really worried about your hair.
Yes. Yeah. I was very concerned. It was very thin.
And you had reason for being concerned. I mean, again, like me, you had a family issue with the ladies in the family.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. On my mother's side, she has 3 sisters, and at least 2 of them had thinning hair. So I was worried, but I tried all sorts of shampoos and creams and lotions on my hair, but the little helmet with the red light is the thing that has helped most. I'm convinced.
Yeah, we took pictures actually and could see the difference. And you use it, Dad, just to really support, because of what happened with Mum. You know, it's not, do you think it's made any visible difference?
I think it's one of these things that things seem to be going along rather nicely, so I would be reluctant to stop it. And, you know, it's not a hardship.
Yes, it's really easy just to plonk it on. For 10 minutes, is it, that you use it each night?
10 minutes each. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
That's the handover. Who goes first?
Dad.
There's a little buzzer goes in your head.
Oh, that's funny. What other tools? You still got your climber. We upstairs.
Yes, and I think that's an interesting one that people may be interested in, because I was talking about pains, and when 2 or 3 weeks into the lift, there was a squat in particular, coming off the floor, my left knee was giving me trouble to the point that I thought, oh, this is a problem. You spoke about it to Chris, and he said, motion is the lotion. Try and make sure it is so. Part of the background to this is that because I was doing the weightlifting twice a week, I had got a little bit less religious about the climbing machine, because previous to that, any day that I wasn't very active, I would get on it and give it a good go. So I returned to that, and I hadn't had any more trouble with my knee. Nothing.
Wow, that's good.
But I've always, in the past, 40 years, say, I've done exercise of some sort.
Yeah.
I had a rowing machine that I used.
Sometimes I see people saying, well, they should have been exercising earlier, and you're like, you've really actually done exercise all your life, and that weakness in your back happened regardless. It must be some kind of genetic predisposition.
15% muscle was what I was left with on my MRI scan.
Yeah.
So that's not a lot of muscle.
No, and that was with you you're always cleaning, you're always up, lugging the vacuum cleaner around and on your hands and knees, scrubbing floors, and just a very active person out in the garden. It still happened. Because again, people sometimes question the route that we chose. Why not try this? Why not try that? You'd tried a number of things, including a rowing machine. This is the thing that's shifting the dial for you.
Yeah. I had various visits to specialists for my back, and they all gave me a set of exercises to do, which I did, and didn't really find any improvement.
Yeah.
The only thing that has worked for me has been the weightlifting.
We have to cover very quickly, because you have a capsule skincare collection. That's what we'll call it, because there's only a couple of things in it. But everybody says what beautiful skin you have. You've always had beautiful skin. What do you use on it?
I have been using Medic 8.
Yes. You use the retinal. That's short for retinaldehyde.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't know that. I've liked that a lot. Mm-hmm. And now I'm on to the Atopam.
So you use those two together. You cleanse with micellar water.
Yes.
And at night you use the Medicate retinal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And during the day I use the Medic 8. But as you can see,
yeah, we need to get more of that.
Is nearly finished.
So that's their Advanced Day Ultimate Protect. Does that have sunscreen in it? Does it say on it? Does it say SPF on the front? No?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so that's good.
50 plus.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's protecting your skin from the sun. And the Atopam, we did a whole separate video on that, because that's kind of wonder stuff. So we've all... My husband, just because people, David, obviously, but I'm letting people know. Yeah, David has moved on to that.
Yeah.
And I use that as well. And you saw a wonderful difference with that, with the redness around your eyes, irritation, inflammation.
That's right.
Gone. Good. I think that answers all the questions that I've had. I think
you've covered.
I think we've covered. Yes, but you're not going to be carnivores anytime soon, and you're not going to be vegans anytime soon, because you just eat what you like to eat, and It's done you well.
Yeah, for better or for worse. But we find it for better.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah.
So we made this episode for your information because there's been so many questions. But remember, we're not offering health or medical advice because we're not qualified to offer that kind of advice. And the truth is, there's still a lot of unknowns around supplementation, particularly long term, and needs will vary from person to person. The greater focus should, of course, always be on diet and exercise, and it's a good idea to check with your doctor before changing your supplements, diet, or exercise routine to make sure it's safe for you. And we also know there will be a lot of different views around what my mum and dad should and shouldn't be eating and the different tools and supplements they could be using. But what they've chosen, as you heard them say, is simply what they feel most benefits them and what fits best with their lifestyle and how they want to live their lives. The diet they follow is the most evidenced, and I'll link to an article I wrote on why that is below. So over to you now. What does your healthy aging regimen look like? And how do you imagine life will look for you in your 80s based on your lifestyle today? Before we finish, if you haven't already, we'd love for you to hit subscribe or follow if you're listening to the podcast to make sure you keep up with future episodes. You'll also find a link in the description to my website, honest.scot, for more information on healthy aging, and to my newsletter, which rounds up all my latest content so you don't miss a thing. But for now, thanks so much for being here today.